Folks are reminded for the protection of lives and fans in the spirit of sportsmanship. The Hurricanes request that you refrain from running on the court or throwing objects at the participants or game officials. We also remind you that any spectator going in the court or immediate court area or interrupting play in any manner will be ejected from the building. Should you require any medical attention, please contact the building security officer or member of the Scotiabank Centerman staff for assistance. All right, Phoenix, let's put those hands together and make some noise to welcome our #1 fans, Swish and Little Swish. Tonight's opponents with a record of 15 wins and 3 losses, currently sitting in first place in the Central Division. Please welcome the London Lightning. Starting tonight for the Lightning, representing the Teacups out of Marquette, welcome 6'1" point guard number 5, Junior Adams. Out of Iowa State, welcome 6'8" forward number 30, Royce White. Welcome back to the Metro Center. Out of U of A, 6'4" guard, number 32, Joel Friesen. Welcome 6'7" forward on the Long Island, number 42, Julian Boyd. And rounding up the squad, number 44, 6'5" guard out of Nebraska, Ryan Anderson. The Lightning are led by head coach Kyle Julius. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you've heard, former Hurricanes player Joel Friesen is in the house tonight, and it's his first time here this season, so we want to take a moment to present him with his NBL Canada Championship ring for the 2015-16 championship season. Please join me in welcoming Ryan.
Welcome back.
To present Joel with his championship ring.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we're welcoming back Joel tonight. Joel was a big part of last year, our national championship team. We're glad to have you back in the house, Joel. I have a little ring here for you, symbolizing your part in that championship team, the national championship team. Now, it comes with one condition. You're only allowed to score 4 points tonight.
Never know.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Take a picture.
You want a photo?
Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
A pretty good turnout here at the Scotiabank Center on a Thursday night. Of course, these two teams met earlier this week, and it was the London Lightning coming away with a 123-108. It is the second of a back-to-back for the Hurricanes, and as I mentioned, second time these teams will meet this week. Round two, home and home series, the London Lightning versus the Halifax Hurricanes here on NBL Canada on YouTube. Good evening, everybody. My name is Dan Hobson. Glad we can bring this one to you. Let's quickly get to those starting lineups before we have the opening tip. For the London Lightning, they have Junior Cadogan, Royce White, Joel Friesen, Julian Boyd, and Ryan Anderson. No stranger to the Scotiabank Center. And of course, it's a returning here for Joel Friesen, and we'll talk about him during the broadcast. Halifax Hurricanes, it's their usual starting five, led by Tyrone Watson, and of course, the captain, the general, Cliff Clinkscales, Antoine Mason, CJ Washington, and Billy White. The officials this evening are Jason Steele, Paul Hansen, and Matt Boyle. Now, I had a chance to talk to Kyle Julius. Says that he's looking for a total team effort, and basically it's going to be defense that's going to make them come away with the victory. But of course, you would figure he'd have a little bit of a swagger to him before that. Not really. He was kind of maybe giving a lot of credit to this Hurricane team and knows that he's going to be in for like a tough battle tonight. He's got 8 players here, 9, so in his lineup. So he's going to have a bench of Herring Jr., Singleton, Criswell, and Phillips. So, of course, this is the same effort that same team that came away with a victory there in London. So, a very talented team, and they're the tops in the NBL Canada, and they're pretty well the flagship, according to Dave Magley of the NBL, averaging 7,000 to 8,000 fans at the Budweiser Garden in London. Steele has walked towards center court, and we're underway. The opening tip, Hurricanes in white, London Lightning in the black. Here is Antoine Mason here with the ball. He'll swing it in the corner to Clinkscales, and ball movement, 2-man game there as Mason hits from beyond the arc to start things off, and a 3-0 lead. Nice ball movement there by Clinkscales and Mason, and that's what you got to do, just drain it when you have the open looks. And speaking of an open look, allowed to walk down Main Street was Julian Boyd out of Long Island, and he had a pretty good game on Monday against the Hurricanes, 19 points. Has 2 here in the early going, 3-2 game. And of course, these teams can probably put up some offense, number 1 and number 2 in offense. In the meantime, Billy White will put up a 3, and a little bit of a collision there with Matt Boyle. So Halifax hitting from outside to 3, and that's kind of a little bit of a surprise early as we just passed the 1-minute mark. And a nice hesitation move there by Royce White. He was pretty well the player of the game, a double-double against the Hurricanes back in London on Monday. Mason once again, that one doesn't go, and right into the hands of Boyd. And now with this possession. Tie or the lead, and it will go, and that was just too easy for Royce White, and he will head to the line with a chance to complete the three-point play. 6-6. The Hurricanes hit a couple of threes, and of course the Lightning coming back here to even things up here, and it's the early stages, so the way these teams are shooting, it could be a big offensive production night for both of the teams, but of course we have to wait and see, and this is what Julius wants to do, is defensively shut down the Hurricanes and come away with the victory. And one of the things that he's got to be careful of is when you have a roster of 9, injuries and foul trouble. So it's been sort of like a week for me in covering teams that have been shorthanded in terms of players, and sometimes the Hurricanes, they take advantage of teams that are short-staffed here. Washington hits from outside the arc. That's kind of interesting. The Hurricanes came in last with shooting from the 3. In the meantime, White with the slam. Actually, they're 8th in the NBL from three-point field goal percentage, 31%, but they're doing pretty well here in the early stages. Mason quickly inside. Watson through the trees, unable to get it, but he's going to go to the line to shoot free throws as a second effort here by the New Mexico State product. And he'll have a chance to knock 2 from the stripe. 70% from the free-throw line this season is Watson. He had 21 points, 37 minutes Monday in the loss to London, and sinks the first one here, makes it 10-9. As mentioned, is a good crowd here tonight at the Scotiabank Center Thursday night, and that one bounces up and then goes down. It's a 2-point game, 9:49 to go. But London is coming back, and they're striking quickly, as there is Junior Cadogan, and there's been a lot of big talk about Cadogan. 2 straight games with double figures in points. Looking hopefully to make it a 3 in a row with a good performance here tonight at the Scotiabank Center. 2.5 gone here in the first. Shot clock at 5. Tough defense there by the Lightning. And the Hurricanes just get it off before the 24 clock, and they'll get a new 24 clock as Watson came up with the rebound, and Mason had an open look and hits from beyond the arc. As he still is kind of surprising to see them hit well from beyond the 3. Speaking of a 3, Anderson says, I can hit 3s too. Comes back as well. The Nebraska product, 14-14. 8:56 left here in the first. Washington back it in on Boyd, but he took too many steps, and the back official, Jason Steele, calls Hurricanes for travel with 8:50 to go. As we take a look at Coach Mike Leslie. Came in, of course, with 3 weeks before the start of the season, and all he's done is guided the Hurricanes to a first place in the Atlantic Division. Here is Boyd, backs in, but he loses the ball. There's Clakescales, bounce pass, Washington, nice athletic move, but unfortunately it goes down and he can't get the finish. And the former Halifax Hurricane Friesen, who had a good ovation here from the Scotiabank Center crowd as he received his NBL championship ring, brings it up the floor. Here is Cadogan with an entry pass, and the finish there by Royce White. Wham, jam, thank you, Sam. 16-14, and the early lead, first time here for the Lightning. So we come up to 4 minutes gone. There's been lots of offense so far, and this will probably definitely favor the London Lightning. They're one of the top offensive teams, as Billy White takes it strong and puts it in. 16 all, 7:48 to go. There's an entry pass there to Boyd now. And open in the corner, and a nice up fake. Friesen, and the jam! He had his best game of the year against the Hurricanes in London on Monday, and he's got the prettiest slam there. Friesen getting things started. Clakescales from up top, unable to hit. 18-16 as the sprint continues here at the Scotiabank Center. Foul called against Billy White. It'll be his first. They've had lots of end-to-end action so far. Right now, it didn't matter if the shot clock was not working at all. The teams are going down and quickly shooting as we have a timeout here on the floor. 18-16 game from the Scotiabank Center. You're watching the NBL Canada on YouTube. So things, as I mentioned, are pretty quick. Watson for the Hurricanes has 2, Washington 3, and Mason 6, and White 5. And pretty well everybody's got on the board here for the starting 5 for the London Lightning. And White has a quick 9 points, just like that. And he's continuing his hot pace. And he's was 10 of 49 from the field. 9 points here in the early going here for White. Friesen, of course, with the slam that we saw, 2 points, and Boyd has 2, Anderson with 3, and Cadogan with 2. So some balanced scoring, so you got to like that so far out of the London Lightning. And I think that the Hurricanes are probably not really happy so far with London Lightning getting 18 points. The thing with the Hurricanes is there is a team that they don't, and it's funny that I'm saying this, even though they've hit threes early, they're not a team that relies on the threes. So when they start shooting the threes and getting them to go down, not really necessarily been their game throughout the year. It's whether they're going to be able to sustain it and keep it going throughout the game. But they are built more in terms for defense, and in their 4 losses, 3 of those losses, the team has given up over 100 points. So they must keep their opposition to 100 points if they're going to have a good chance of coming away with the victory tonight. And the teams are shooting pretty good here from the start. Field goal percentages, like London hasn't missed a shot. They're 8 of 8, 100%, and the Hurricanes 5 of 9. So you know that London's going to cool the shooting down. They're not going to be perfect all night. They'll probably be in the right around about the 60s. Of course, they're pretty good from the shooting from the field. They're the first in the NBL. They shoot about 48.2%. So when they get a chance to knock it down, they're pretty well doing it almost close to half the time, and that makes things a little bit difficult for their teams to defend. And of course, the Lightning off to a great start. Speaking of a great start, here's White now. Washington there, nice solid D, and he kept on his feet, made sure not to leave his feet because bad things happen. There's a wild shot that doesn't go off the glass, and it's rebounded, and there is the former Hurricane Friesen crossing the timeline, sending it inside to Boyd. Boyd fouled there by Washington. And some encouragement here by Coach Kyle Julius saying, don't worry about it. Pretty happy with his team's play. As we take a look at the foul there. And as they look at White, there's Anderson for 3, can't hit, and the long rebound there gathered up by Watson. 18-16, Clinkscales will send it over the corner. Mason, he's guarded by Friesen. Watson comes up, sets the screen. Mason decides not to use it. Walk along the end line, and in the meantime, a foul before the basket, so the basket won't count. Still a 2-point game. Paul Hansen with the call. And it's going against Ryan Anderson, would be his first. It'll be the second team foul there for the London Lightning. 6:29 to go. Sometimes you've seen Clinkscales shoot some threes, but the teams are now starting to see that. In the meantime, they'll swing the ball around. Mason over Friesen as it bounced in and out and right in the hands of Anderson. Here's Cadogan. Oh, makes a nice move. Oh, he had tried to pass it over to Boyd, and Clinkscales quickly back to pick that one off as we come up to the halfway point here in the opening quarter of a 2-point game. 18-16, Washington backing in on White. Makes a move, one-on-one, through the trees, and Anderson there as that was just too strong. Lead pass up to Boyd. They'll put the brakes on and they'll settle things down, but Cadogan has an open look for 3, but can't hit. Not really much in terms of defense there from the Hurricanes, but Cadogan missed from well out. 5:36 to go. Clinkscales, entry pass, Watson. Tough angle, can't get the bucket. And this is what Kyle Julius was talking about, getting some stops and playing good defense, making the Hurricanes take hard shots, and they haven't been able to get them to go down. Still a 2-point game, 5:16 to go. There's Friesen, and that doesn't go. And Mason will come up with the board. White bounces over to Mason. Clinkscales was open. They didn't get it, but they'll set it inside. Washington with a nice underhand reverse layup and in. Tying it at 18, 4:58 to go. And a good basket there, and Hurricanes showing lots of patience. Not really concerned about the shot clock going off and really settling for the good shot and taking it into Washington, who's having a fantastic first year for the Hurricanes. White, Friesen, catch and shoot. Nope. That won't sink. Lead pass is up to White. Collision against Friesen. Lots of contact. No call. Anderson is getting to be a track meet here at the Scotiabank Center. Anderson now makes a nice couple of moves. Shot not all that great. Kadugan with a second chance. Through some trees and a lot of contact, but he'll get it to go. 20-18, 4:15 to go. Here is Billy White. They'll swing it around. Mason lost the handle. In the meantime, the foul, and that's kind of like an unfortunate foul there going against Friesen, as Mason had some difficulty catching the pass and ran into Friesen, and Friesen going to be called for the foul, his first third-team foul, as we look at Watson and Friesen on your screen at home. See 4:09 to go. Kyle Julius, they might be able to see it in your top of your screen right now, is having a conversation with the crew chief this evening, Jason Steele, about that last call, and he's probably thinking that maybe that Mason didn't have control of the basketball. White inbound. So we're approaching 4 minutes to go here in the first. Here's Billy White. Solid D, shot clock at 5. Haywood on the floor now. Here's Zimmerman's got to put it up, and I don't think he's aware that they're gonna a shot clock violation, as there was not really much in terms of communication from the bench, and Zimmerman had it with 2 to shoot, and I was not hearing anybody counting down the clock, so it's a 24-second violation for the Hurricanes. And here's another former Hurricane on the floor right now, Tony Criswell. Criswell played 23 games last year and shot 42% during his time here, and then was traded towards the later stages of the season. And a nice solid take there by Doug Herring Jr. Of course, he spent last year with the St. John Mill Rats. They've renamed and have new ownership, and they're going to be the St. John Riptide, and they're second in the Atlantic Division. Herring, of course, a good acquisition. Probably filling in for the loss to Warren Ward, who end up going to the Windsor Lightning, or pardon me, the Windsor Express. 22-18, Herring Jr. coast to coast and up and in. It's a 6-point game, 2 possession, 24-18. Dixon just does a great job, trying not to go out of bounds. Comes up with the ball. Watson quickly crosses the timeline. Kyle Julius yelling at Matt Boyle, the official. Zimmerman for 3, no good, and Dixon will come up with a new clock there for the Hurricanes, 2:48 to go. Zimmerman, of course, guarded by Kadugan. Dixon sets the screen. Haywood looks around. He'll take it strong. Lots of contact, loses the ball, but Watson right there, but he's going to have to quickly put it up. Watson, clock at 3, and gets the bucket. Some nice work. And the Hurricanes, of course, were looking at the shot clock. Watson might have thought that they might have got a new 24, but he acted quickly and then got the return pass and the layup, as that one doesn't go. 24-20. Hurricanes needed a stop, but picked off by Herring Jr. And Herring Jr. fouled by Billy White, and Billy White with arms saying there really wasn't much I could do there. So Doug Herring Jr. will go to the line. And this is the thing about game management here for the London Lightning, is that they're pretty well going to be making some switches throughout the night. As Herring Jr. will go to the line. Doug Herring Jr. pretty good from the stripe, 85.2%. And he'll sink the first one. And it'll make it 25-20. As some of the fans now starting to get on Doug Herring Jr. and 25-20 as we come up to 2 minutes to go here in the first. Here is Poole now. And Haywood, catch and shoot, can't get it to go. White comes up with the board, and he'll bring a new 24. Zimmerman for three. No hesitation, nice stroke. And it's 25-23, and they kind of needed that bucket as this was starting to slowly get away from him as you take a look at it on replay there. In the meantime, putting it up there was Criswell, and he was well strong as we come back to the game here on the Scotiabank Center. In the meantime, Billy White will tie things at 25 with that tap in. 80 seconds to go. Hurricanes do have a couple of fouls to give. Here is Herring Jr. makes a nice move, but he gets tangled up in the feet of Haywood, and Haywood's going to be called for the foul. And for Joey Haywood, should be his first. Should be the 15th foul. They take a look at the Spew product. Glad to be back in Halifax, and of course he spent 5 years at St. Mary's. His third stint here at Halifax. An offensive foul called here, and it's going against Ryan Anderson. That'll be the fourth for the London Lightning, and it should be his first. It is his first. And they're actually going to call the foul against Marvin Phillips. Phillips recently played in his 100th game here in the NBL, and it was mentioned by the London Lightning on their Twitter feed earlier today. Poole, step back jumper, yes! The deep two makes it 27-25, 48 seconds to go, and Jason Steele calls another foul. This one is going against Jaquan Zimmerman. It'd be his sixth. They have one more foul to give. One more foul till it's bonus, pardon me. Mike Leslie gets a chance to reset here, so they had the foul, they might as well use it. It's a good foul to take. As the defense chant rings here at the Scotiabank Center. Singleton, second chance, can't hit, tapped by Dixon, but it'll go out of bounds. So it will be London ball, 35.3 to go, and a new 24, so. Quickly coming off the bench here is Anthony Cox, the 6'8" center from Farmingdale State. He was pointless in their game on Monday, so and he's still wearing the pink shoes. Of course, yesterday was the anti-bullying day, so he wore pink shirts. He's still wearing the shoes they wore from yesterday, as the Criswell three is no good, but they'll come up with the ball, and now there'll be just about a 3-second difference between the game clock and shot clock. So they will have to put one up here, and the Hurricanes will have to hurry after this possession. Shot clock at 10. Criswell makes a nice move on Cox, drives through the paint and in. That quick second step that Anthony Criswell did, so now the Hurricanes will have to hold for the last shot. Poole now against Singleton, and that was short to end the first quarter, but the team's putting on a shooting show here, 27-27 after the opening 12, and we look at Mike Leslie. As I mentioned, he's done a fantastic job since coming over. It was a tough situation that he came into 3 weeks before the start of the season, and you know, pretty well has been one of the surprises. Of course, the talent on this Hurricane team, a lot had to do with Kevin Keithley. So they have, and of course, Kevin Keithley resigned in December for family reasons. So, when the things started to change over in terms of Mike Leslie, the things that Mike did was thank Kevin for all his hard work. You see the halftime, or here the competition as they try to inflate the ball here. Good start for both teams, but the thing is that the defense has to be a little bit better for both teams. They get into a run and gun. You know that it's, of course, going to favor the London Lightning. They have a lot of weapons. They had put up 123 against the Hurricanes on Monday.
All right, man. There is no place in the world I'd rather be tonight than Halifax.
Of course, also too, that with the Hurricanes playing last night against the Moncton Miracles, they came away with an easy victory. It was player against 8 players there for Moncton, so they did not really have much of a bench to work with. It's made things difficult that they pretty well were running out of steam and running out of energy. So it'll be interesting to see if the later part of this game, if maybe fatigue starts to kick in. Of course, London was off last night, but it was a travel day. But if you're Kyle Julius, you must be pretty happy with that opening 12 minutes, because you got 27 points on the board, and usually it's kind of a little bit difficult to probably maybe find your legs, but this team's working really hard, and they've come away and pretty well all their starting 5 here are on the scoreboard in terms of points, and at the last look, of course, White had 9 points, so 27-27 is where we stand here in the second quarter, and it's underway. Here is Chris Noel now with the ball, shot clock at 12. Anderson. Oh, open look for Phillips, and he hits. And that's the thing, is a lot of also what Kyle Julius was saying is if we've got open opportunities and we've got nice looks, we got to cash them in, and Phillips did. 30-20-17. Past the 30-second mark. A lot of contact there, and it's an offensive foul, and it's going against Haywood. Should be a second. He tried to get rid of the ball quickly before he got the contact, but it's going to be his second. It'll be the first here in the second quarter, his second personal. As we take a look at Boyd handling the ball. There is Phillips now, swings it over to Criswell. Using the screen and hits. Good teamwork there as Doug Herring Jr. set the screen, and Zimmerman was unable to get to him to defend and put a hand in his face, and he drained the shot. It's a 2-possession game, 33-27. Zimmerman falling down on the play. Poole gets the ball. There's Cox now, makes a nice move and comes up short, bounces high, and the ball is being bounced around like a bunch of volleyball players and will tip out of bounds, and it's going to be the London Lightning basketball, a chance to make it a 3-possession game with a 3 here, and a 9-point lead. 10:40 to go here in the first half. Doug Herring Jr. crosses the timeline. Arvin Phillips, a 6'7" forward, loses the ball, and he says, "My bad," and Kyle Julius says, "No worries about it. Keep your head in the game." Hurricanes basketball, 10:25 to go, 33-27. Here is Poole now. Oh, he got some separation and got the shot up over Phillips, but unable to drain it. And Anderson will come down with the rebound. Doug Herring Jr. looking for somebody. He finds Phillips. Phillips now into the paint. One-on-one against Dixon. And Dixon's got to be called for the foul, so Phillips, a 72.7% free-throw shooter, will go to the line. A chance to increase the lead here with 1 second shy of the 2-minute mark. Washington will return here for Dixon. Dixon, that'll be his first personal. Phillips, who had 9 points against the Hurricanes on Monday, will point the first one, makes it 33-27. Still in this second quarter. He'll go 1 for 2 from the line. 7-point game, as we mentioned, reaching the 2-minute mark here in the second quarter. Like I said, it is a big crowd here tonight. A home-and-home series. Zimmerman for 3, can't hit. For those folks who weren't into the broadcast last night, Zimmerman has been having one of those up and down seasons. In 7 games, in 7 games, he has been less than getting less than 10 points a game, so he hasn't been shooting double figures, but so the last 4 he's kind of struggled. The 3 before that, he's gotten, of course, double figures. In the meantime, the Hurricanes come back, get a bucket, and make it a 5-point game. Joey Haywood, 34-29. Haywood still trying to find some of his form here. Phillips can't hit from outside. Zimmerman. And you got to be careful here because of course we have an ice surface, so maybe want to make sure that the floor stays nice and dry. And it looked like he might have almost like slipped there, so it could be a little bit of moisture on the floor. It just could be hard for ankles and knees, so we'll see if that becomes a little bit of a factor. A warm day with ice underneath it. Of course, the Mooseheads playing tomorrow night. That one doesn't go, so all of a sudden he's gotten a little bit cold here for the team. Zimmerman hits. Beautiful shot from downtown, and it's a 2-point game, 34-32. 8:47 to go. And Kyle Julius is bringing 3 players there to the scoring table, and Leslie's bringing 2. For the next whistle, we'll see a whole whack of changes coming our way. Outside shot doesn't go for the Lightning. 8:28 to go. There's Poole. And that's no basket as he going to be called for too many steps. Cadogan, Boyd, and White coming in, and the Boo Birds coming out to roost here at the Scotiabank Center. Not happy with the call, and Poole will go to the bench as you see. .23 to go, 2-point game, 34-32. This is the thing here is that White is back out on the floor. He had a pretty good first quarter. Once again, makes a nice move, but he lost the handle. Good D there by Billy White. Unfortunate loss of the basketball for White. Making a spectacular move, and that's going to be a key matchup for Billy White. You know, the thing is that, as Vince has mentioned throughout the broadcast, of course, my broadcast colleague Vince Williams not here tonight, has said that Billy White has had to step up his role compared to last year, and you know, pretty well give him an A+ for that effort. And a good defensive effort there, and it resulted in the Hurricanes tying. Knows that 3 is well short, air ball, and turned over. 7 minutes and 51 seconds left till halftime. 34-32. Cadogan with a burst of speed and a nice shot, kissing it off the glass. But boy, he's got some jets. Junior Cadogan out of Marquette. There's a lot of talk from London about Cadogan in the offseason when he signed with the team, and had a chance to watch him online from the Budweiser Garden as he'll go to the free throw line. An excellent free throw shooter, 80.8% at the stripe as we look at him. And a lot of talk, and of course he has, you know, really lived up to the expectations, and one of the reasons why the London Lightning are where they are, tops of the Central Division. As you take a look at him, boy, he's just got a good second step. It's just, you know, quicker than a hiccup. 36-32, Zimmerman will swing it over. Clinkscales loses the ball momentarily, but recovers it. Shot clock at 10, Watson now, and he's going to be called for a travel. So a couple of travels here by the Hurricanes, and 2 of the last 3 possessions, turnovers, and 36-32 is the score in a 4-point game. And as you see, as we take a look at Tyrone Watson, Watson in his second stint here with the Halifax organization, and last year he finished the second half with the Orangeville A's and had a chance to come back and was on the preseason roster. In the meantime, Friesen, who was here last year, can't hit that 3. Having a pretty good season is Watson. Has the ball right now, as you see. Back it in, a little bit of a double team now. White. Zimmerman for 3, can't hit. And the loose ball as there goes to the Lightning, and they'll swing it up to White. Nice pass and a nice move, but even a nicer play by Billy White as he swats it away. Boy, that is going to be an entertaining matchup. And White comes back, and the blocking foul called against the London Lightning, but what a spectacular play is. Let's look at it here. This is a good move, but even watch that. Out of here, Shannon White. No way, not on my time. Billy White now, of course, will go to the free throw line, and White 75% this season out of Las Vegas, and of course played for San Diego State. One of 3 Hurricane players that returned, of course, Bernardo Dixon and Cliff Clinkscales, the other 2. But man, that is just one fantastic move by White, but a good last-second defense recovery there by White as he'll drain the free throws, and quickly like that, Cadogan comes back and gets a bucket. So soft on defense was the Hurricanes there. 6:30 to go here in the half. White guarded by Friesen. There's Watson, step back jumper, and that falls. Beautiful shot. Nice athletic move there by Tyrone Watson. 2-point game. White well short, and Washington comes up with it. I'm not sure if Kyle Julius thought there should have been a foul. Not sure if there was a lot of contact or not, but he was not too pleased. He might have saw it there on the screen at home. Ball moving plenty there by the Hurricanes. Washington, corner 3, won't fall. Cadogan once again with the Jets on. Gets a return pass from Herring Jr. Now he'll take the open look, but won't get the finish, and another rebound. White quickly up to Clinkscales. He'll put the brakes on. And now he'll go into the paint. Swings it in to Washington along the end line, trying to get it to go, and it's a tough take as it was well defended. And we have a timeout on the floor, 38-32 here in the second quarter.
Supplies for their sponsorship of tonight's game. And this season's present sponsor, Eastlink Wireless.
The London Lightning, as I said, they had a pretty good first quarter. It was 27-47 after the first, and the shooting is sort of like quite down. You kind of expected that. There's really not going to be a team that's going to shoot 100%. You may shoot right around about the 50%, but so you kind of figured that the shooting would settle down, and it kind of has, and all of a sudden the teams are playing defense. And as you take a look at the t-shirt toss being done here at the Scotiabank Center on a Thursday night. A reminder, more basketball coming your way here on Sunday afternoon. Riptide in town to take on the Hurricanes. And of course, Vince Williams will have that call here on NBL Canada YouTube. We're glad you could join us here on a Thursday night from the Scotiabank Center. My name is Dan Hobson. Vince Williams is away. And the thing is, as I mentioned earlier, we got to see about what type of plan that Mike Leslie has. And I talked earlier about, you know, the back-to-back. Sometimes in the later stages of the game, you sort of may start to lose a little bit of wind. And there's also a little bit of a story too with their road trip. They went 2 of 3, but then they had to face the London Lightning, and definitely fatigue was starting to kick in, and it was a little bit of a tough game, and they gave up well over 120 points. There was just all kinds of players in double figures, 6 to be exact there for the London Lightning. Anderson, White, Friesen, Cadogan, Boyd, and Herring Jr. They have a roster of 9, and pretty well 6 made the scoring sheet in terms of double figures. So that's how balanced this offense is. That, you know, that it must be a great luxury for Kyle Julius to go to the bench and, you know, have weapons that probably could be starters on other teams. You know, so the London Lightning, of course, they want to win the championship and felt the taste. And we talked about earlier about Clinkscales having a little bit of difficulty hitting that 3. They've defended it well as other teams here in the league. But, and you'll take a look as he'll get the open shot there, as you see. And that's the thing, is you got to take what the defense gives you. In the meantime, a bucket comes back the other way is Doug Herring Jr. might have missed it at home, but it is a 1-point game, 40-39. So you come up to 5 to go in the half, till half. Zimmerman, catch and shoot. Nope, doesn't go. And Friesen there on the weak side, gather up the board. Entry pass, not really a good one there by the Lightning. It was well low, and of course, the big man, Royce White, 6'8", out of Iowa State, he would have had to go pretty well almost down on his knees like a catcher to come up with that one, as that pass was well low, below his knees. Turned over, alley-oop, and the finish by Washington doesn't go. It was a good read and a good setup. And a big long pass inside to White from Herring Jr. So stealing each other's playbook, it looks like, going with those long, big, high entry passes, and Hurricanes unable to hit. London able to. A 3-point game, 42-39. Mason back out on the floor. Shot clock at 8. Doug Herring Jr. watching him. They'll swing it over to the far side of the court. Clinkscales now will put up another 3, and that hits the rim and no good. And right there was Royce White coming up with the ball. Boyd now from the handoff, well short. It was on the hands of Billy White, but Friesen came up with the ball for the London Lightning, and they'll get a new 24 as Herring Jr. has the ball, puts the brakes on. Entry pass. Washington gets a little piece of it, but not enough. Boyd, little contact, but he'll get the bucket. Julian Boyd, 19 points on Monday. It's on the score sheet. With that one, 44-39. Washington makes a nice move along the end line. Watson finishes. That's the thing, is all of a sudden the defense started coming towards Washington. That left Watson with an easy lane and an easy look and the finish. And a nice play there by White as Watson hits the deck. He's okay, 5-point game. And Billy White is now calling for, he's talking to Jason Steele. Steele's pretty well ignoring him. And for Billy White to be his third, Mike Leslie, you see his reaction as he shakes his head. And once again, White still talking to Paul Hansen now. It will be his third, so all of a sudden that could be a little bit of an issue here. And now Matt Boyle is going to come over and rather than, of course, give a technical to White, he's going to calm him down and blows his whistle, has a couple of words there for White. White and Friesen have a little bit of a conversation. Meantime, play back underway as we come up to 3 to go in a 5-point game, 46-41. Nice pass and the finish inside there to Julian Boyd, and he throws it down, showing no mercy on the rim. 48-41, 2:48 to go. Antoine Mason will swing it inside there, but it goes off the hands of Dixon and out of bounds, and Mason shows a little bit of frustration as he walks away. And you see it right now, as all of a sudden, finishing strong. That's what championship teams do, and of course the London Lightning have the taste of last year being the runners-up for the championship, but boy, they are running on full cylinders. All credit to Kyle Julius. In the meantime, Julia Boyd gets the hoop and the harm. This is, as I finish my point, finishing is where teams can win and lose basketball games, as this is starting to get away here from the Hurricanes. A 9-point game with 2:29 to go, and Boyd 79.5% from the free throw line this season. And short on that one, and Watson comes in to pass a little bit high. Clinkscales had to climb the ladder to come up with it. Good work there by the DePaul native. Quick ball movement by the Hurricanes. Shot fake there by Mason. That deflects off the Hurricane player, a Lightning player, and goes out of bounds with 2:14 left, 10 to shoot for the Hurricanes, and they need stops, and they also need some a little bit of help in terms of trying to get some offense going. The defense that Kyle Julius talked to me about before the game is all of a sudden the Hurricanes are cooling off from the 3-point line. You kind of knew that would happen as we come up to 2 to go. 9-point game, 50-41. Cadogan back out here. Nice pass up high and unable to connect that time was Boyd. He had a chance, but it tips off his hands. Hurricanes in transition. 1:47 to go. And White is actually going to be a foul against the Hurricanes, as crew chief Jason Steele with the call there was just in front of the bench. And it's going to be a foul, of course, against the London Lightning. And it's against White. That would be his second, as Mason will go to the line. Mason 72% from the stripe. Tony Criswell. Tony, of course, former Hurricane, as we mentioned earlier, was a little bit anxious going onto the court, so Steele puts him right back, and you can see the my bad hands put up there by Criswell as that bounces in and out, so Criswell's going to have to wait a little bit longer there. 100 seconds to go. Criswell having a conversation with the official table staff. Turnover there. Hurricanes have a chance here to try to nip away at this deficit. And there it is. Downtown three by Mason. In the meantime, the ball goes into the crowd, but quickly back into play. That was a much needed bucket, but now they got to get a stop on their end as we take a look at the Mason three. Doug Herring Jr. getting away, smothering defense there by the Hurricanes. There's a brief double team broken. Herring Jr. of the clock at 7. There is White. Double team. Back it in. Oh, makes a nice move on Dixon. And the finish. Dixon having a difficult time against Royce White. Watch this move, folks. Boy, this Royce White, he's just been impressive. Look at that. Pretty well spins away from Dixon as if he's a pylon. And now have a chance to complete the three-point play with 58.3 seconds to go. And for Dixon, it's his third. But one of the things that has hurt White is from the stripe, 57%. 7-point game, 52 to 45, 50 seconds to go. Tyrone Watson inside to White. Guarded there by White. White on White. Length scales down. Shot clock at 6. Mason puts it up. Yes! 52 to 48. Hurricanes climb back, but they need defensive stops. In the meantime, Cadogan calling out a play. 10 seconds difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Hurricanes no fouls to give. Boyd loses the ball to Dixon along the baseline. Almost lost it out of bounds. A big shot from well outside. Watson will come up with it. 7 seconds to go. They'd like to close strong. Here's Billy White. 4 seconds over to Clinkscales. Has an open look for 3. No, he can't hit. And that's how this first half ends. A little bit of frustration shown by Joel Friesen, but the Lightning must be pretty happy here. They're up by 4, 52 to 48 after the opening 24. So we're going to take a break. You'll have a chance to sit and watch the halftime show as we're going to see some future basketball players as the Hurricanes go off the floor, going to the dressing room to make some adjustments here for the second half. So it's 52 to 48. You are watching the NBL Canada on YouTube.
Welcome to halftime, Hurricanes fans. Please now welcome to the court the members of the Nova Scotia
8 of 8. And the thing is that they are doing this with a short bench here tonight. They pretty well have everybody all on the floor with only 9 players dressed. So once again, you talked about the maybe possibility of fatigue factor for the Hurricanes. What about here for the London Lightning with 9? So we should be on tap here for a good third quarter as well as second half here from Scotiabank Center as we are underway. 15 seconds gone, shot clock at 8, step back jumper by White, and Royce White will come up and pick it up for the London Lightning off the miss there by White. 52-48 it remains here. 30 seconds gone in the quarter. Cadogan, who's got a good quick step. Anderson drains it. And that's the thing, is that speed will never ever, takes a day off like you in this, because man, when you get some speed, you get a chance to break up defense, and then you'll be able to create looks, and also speed and throwing the ball around will allow you to come up with looks too. Speaking of looks, there's Billy White, long two, 55-50. Here's we just passed the 1 minute mark here. Anderson starting to heat things up there, but unable to hit on that time. And as my broadcast colleague Vince Williams would say, that is a heat check for sure, as he was trying to see if he continued his hot play. 10:43 to go. Here's Billy White up top to Mason. Mason over Cadogan, but he's well short. Washington there with the putback and a spinning and shooting and putting it in. C.J. Washington. 10.5 to go. 55-52, one possession game. Washington all over Boyd. They'll send it in to White. One-on-one White, foul there. Mike Leslie calling for a travel, but none is forthcoming in terms of the official Matt Boyle, so going against Tyrone Watson. It'll be his second as we look at a very complex, confused, and frustrated Mike Leslie a couple of seconds ago. And mentioned that Cadogan is having a fantastic season. There he is, and pretty well is, my opinion alone, pretty well one of the MVPs here. In the meantime, Anderson overthrows everything on that shot. White right there to come up with it. They're coming up to 2 minutes to go. Gone here in the third. Here's Watson, backs in on Friesen. Washington for 3. That bounces in and out and off the fingertips of White. Right in the hands of Boyd. Boyd, quick pass, and White. As once again the crowd here at the Scotiabank Center calling for a charge there. He'll get the bucket on a nice little Euro step there by White. And White continuing his hot play. That will give him 17. Foul called against White there as the ball deflects out of bounds, called by Matt Boyle. And it's a hold against White. And that would be his third. So the thing is that could be, the Hurricanes would like to get another quick foul on him quickly. They may want to try to get him to the bench. They may make a dent into this deficit if they can get White off the court. Mason with some nice passing. Clink scales now. Shot clock at 3. They're going to have to hurry to put it up. White from outside. Yes. It's a long distance too with the clock winding down. White cool as a cucumber on that one. 57-54. And in the meantime, coming back, Julian Boyd. And this is the way the game is. You think that the Hurricanes have a little bit of momentum and things going their way. All of a sudden, London comes back and pretty well grabs them by the jugular, and that ends the potential comeback. Mason now, tough bucket over White, and was sort of off balance when he was coming down, but he gets the 3 to go, 60-57. But if you're a Hurricane fan, they need stops. But of course, all our fine folks watching back in London, loving this so far. 3-point game. They'd like to maybe get a little bit of a bigger lead. White doing some work. In the meantime, they lose his possession of the ball, and Boyd from the 3 can't hit, but White would come up with it on new 24. Anderson, and that's the thing. You cannot give this team second or third chances, as Anderson on the third chance drains the three. Two possession game, 63 to 57. As you see Kyle Julius in the top of your screen yelling out some calls there for his players. 4 minutes gone. Here's Watson. 1-on-3, trying to get it to White inside, and it deflects out of bounds. Hurricanes basketball, 9 to shoot. Down 2 possessions, 63 to 57. And I think that maybe the Lightning might have got away with grabbing a little bit of a jersey there. In the meantime, the Hurricanes still pressing here. Shot clock at 2, tough bucket. Washington will come up with a new 24, but he's right along the end line looking for some help. Watson, elbow jumper, yeah. Washington didn't show any panic there because he was pretty well in danger zone, but ended up deciding to pass it to Watson along the elbow. White! Oh, if he got that in, that would have been a fantastic basket. In the meantime, Tyrone Watson was saying that he got the elbow in from me, so if we get a chance to look at it to see if he did or not. In the meantime, Washington looks like he's a little bit gassed here. I'm not sure if he got hurt on the play. White going to the line. White from the line is 1 of 2 and make it 1 of 3, and that's, if there's anything that may be a weakness in its game, it's the free-throw line. But I mean, you see that with some of the big guys in the NBA as well as like even in college hoops, struggling there from the stripe. A little bit better technique, but didn't get the result and lost. Didn't get a chance to even sink those free throws, but goes off the Hurricanes. Going to be a new 24, and the London Lightning basketball, 7:28 to go. And Marvin Phillips will make his way to the scoring table here. Phillips, as we mentioned earlier, 9 points against the Hurricanes. Here tonight, he's got 4, shooting 1 of 3. Cadogan, nice move, and the bucket. 65 to 59. And the London Lightning just showing why they are number 1 in the NBL right now. There's an entry pass. Watson, and the finish. Puts his hands up looking for a call. He's not going to get the and one, but thought there was contact. 65 to 61, 6:54 to go. Here's Friesen, an open lane against White. Billy White late to come over, but the bucket good there for the former Hurricane. And for Friesen here tonight, gives him 4 points. He had 20 there on Monday. Watson, pass, deflects off of the Royce Watson. Here is White, and there's Billy White as Royce White will come up with the ball. 6:21 to go. Friesen makes a nice move, blow by, and he gets the defense to come over. In the meantime, Boyd, great balls of fire, was unable to hit. Friesen brought some jerseys over, but Boyd could not hit. But speaking of not able to hit, there was the Hurricanes not able to hit. In the meantime, Clinkscales fouls in transition, and of course they had numbers the other way as we're 2 seconds shy of the halfway point. Third team foul, his first for Clinkscales. As a couple of Canadian products come back to the floor, Bernardo Dixon and Joey Haywood. 2-possession game. Looked like it was going to be a blowout early, but things have started to settle down in terms of defense. Doug Herring Jr. now with a little bit of help and a screen set up momentarily, swings it over to Friesen. Down low, along the end line, back out Cadogan. Nice stretch to come up with, the shot clock at 2. Criswell will put it up, but it's after the clock goes off. 24-second violation, but that possession, that shot, even though it was a little bit late by Criswell, was not possible without the long reach there of Cadogan. He read it because the pass was not so hot. Partially knocks it down and then gets it over to Criswell, who was just a little bit late in putting it off. So we have media timeout on the floor here, 67 to 61. And So, of course, I want to remind everybody more NBL action here for the Hurricanes will be Sunday afternoon. It's the St. John Riptide. Looking forward to that. Vince Williams will have the call here on YouTube. If you take a look at some of the stats here so far, here at the halfway point of the third quarter, White is now up to 17 points. Boyd having a pretty good night as well, 11 points, and Cadogan at 10. And for the Hurricanes, Watson 12, Billy White 13, and Antoine Mason 16. So far the leading scorers there for the Halifax Hurricanes. And so far here in the third quarter, and Lightning up by a bucket, 15-13. So we take a look at Swish, a little young span here, trying to take part in the halftime contest, jump up and play. So if you're the Halifax Hurricanes, you got to be pretty well happy that you're only down 2 possessions right now at this stage. 5:37 to go. You're still in the game, but just too many offensive weapons here on this London Lightning team to see if they can be able to come up with stops here. They get a little bit of momentum, and the Lightning just take it back away from them. Pretty well has been the story here. Haywood on the floor there, guarded by Cadogan. Dixon came up, set the screen. There's White. Antoine Mason now in the paint. Loses the handle. Ball's on the floor. Friesen comes up with it. Lead pass. Criswell. And the layup. A little bit of a finger roll to boot there for Anthony Criswell. So the former Hurricanes connect on that one. Friesen to Criswell. Bucket. 8-point lead, 69-61. Zimmerman getting ready to come back in for the Hurricanes. Mason for 3, yes! Well guarded there by Cadogan. Nothing much he could do. He was pretty well in the face. In the meantime, Kyle Julius there showing maybe just a little bit tad frustration with that last possession. 2-point game. Friesen now will hit the 3 and puts the finger right up in the air. And you know that he'd like to do very good here against his former team. He gives them 5, and it's a 9-point lead now for the London Lightning, 72-63. Haywood guarded there by Doug Herring Jr. They've had battles when Herring Jr. was a member of the St. John Millrats, so no strangers. And the Hurricanes, of course, needing baskets quickly, will go to the bench for Zimmerman. He had 9 points off the bench Monday, 17 last night in the win over Moncton. So he needs to start knocking them down if they have any chance to maybe making this run there in the fourth quarter. Billy White, mid-range jumper, that's good. 72-65 as we come up to 4 to go here in the third quarter. Herring Jr. entry passes Phillips all by himself. I know it's a Celine Dion song, but he was pretty well all by himself, and he put it up and in. 3:45 to go. Renato Dixon gets his first bucket of the night. 74-67 as they approach 3.5 to go. Cadogan inside. Criswell over White, and it rattles around and then goes down. 76-67, 3:20 to go here in the third quarter. Dan Hobson here on NBL Canada on YouTube, and thanks to our help from the Silver Vision crew. Step back jumper by Dixon doesn't go, and his number counterpart Criswell comes up with the board. 76-67, 3 to go. Cadogan, cross court, Friesen, driving and fouled. He made a nice move to step away from the defender, and then he attacked the rack, but he'll have a chance to knock him down from the free-throw line as we have a timeout. 76-67, you are watching NBL Canada action here on YouTube on a Thursday night from the Scotiabank Center And the London Lightning looking pretty good right now. It seems that the Hurricanes have not been able to really push into this lead, and a lot of teams, of course these two teams have a lot of similarities because we talked about how they are tops in their division. Well, let's also talk about that they're both Canadian head coaches. Mike Leslie from the Amherst, Nova Scotia area. That's like a 2-hour drive outside of Halifax towards New Brunswick, and Kyle Julius, of course, he's no stranger to Nova Scotia. He was a coach of the Mississauga Power, and then when the Mississauga Power became the Raptors 905, London Lightning were looking for a coach, so they reached out to Kyle Julius, and Kyle Julius in his first year led them to, of course, the second place finish here in the NBL Canada Championship that was won by the Halifax Hurricanes. But as I mentioned, he's no stranger to Nova Scotia because he coaches clinics over the summertime, sometimes makes his way down. So, of course, his father's still involved with the DE techniques as well. So, very friendly gentleman. I had a chance to talk to him before the game. And of course, there was an incident last year here at the championships where he was on the floor. It was kind of a scary moment where Julius fainted pretty well close to our broadcast location. At the time, I was over doing the PA gig here for the game, but it was a really scary moment. So you know that Kyle Julius loves the sport of basketball and is a hard worker and maybe expended a little bit of energy. And the thing is, too, that these playoffs, of course, were in June, and things were a little bit warm here in the Scotiabank Center as Friesen hits that first one on the line. So it's a 10-point game, double-digit lead now for the first time. And now, of course, the fans, of course, after being happy that Friesen picked up his reign, he had a good ovation here at the start. Now they're going to start to give him the horns and give him the business. That's just funny how sports crowds go. Zimmerman for three. That's no good. And Cadogan was there for the board. And here they go once again in transition. The ball movement. Phillips from outside. Yes, sir. And look at this. A 14-point lead. And it's the largest lead of the evening. Cool. Zimmerman thought about stopping and popping, decides not to with 2:16 to go, shot clock at 12. Hurricanes really not doing much in terms of ball movement, but really stellar D here by the London Lightning. Haywood fouled, Cadogan not happy, Friesen not happy either, as you see him on the ground. Joel Friesen's actually going to be called for the foul, so that will be his second. There is Renato Dixon, leading the team in blocks this year, so he's been doing well defensively. Friesen's still not too happy about the calls. Haywood will go to the line. Haywood 64.7% from the free throw line. Did manage to get 8 points off the bench last night in the win over Moncton. There's a little bit of a chat of an MVP goes up, and they'll put that one up 81-69 as we're approaching 2 minutes left to go here. And Cadogan once again, boy, oh boy, turns on the Jets and puts it in, 83-69. London Lightning, boy, have they found themselves a player in Junior Cadogan. Pass along inline, picked off, and there he is. Johnny on the spot, the man of the hour, Cadogan coming up with that steal. 1:37 to go, 83-69. Phillips once again, and not sure if that's his game. 6'7" forward, but unable to get that one to go down. Zimmerman now for three, yes, falls down, but that's a big bucket. But Lightning are quickly getting it up the floor to try to generate some offense. They're up by 11 and are looking to try to increase the lead once again with 70 seconds to go. The Hurricanes with 2 fouls to give. Duger goes cross court to Friesen, who dumps it in the corner. There's Phillips over Dixon, off the window and in. And Ryan Anderson comes off the bench there for the Lightning. He can't believe that shot. And you can tell that the Lightning are on top. Comfortable lead by 13. Anderson still amazed by that last shot. In the meantime, the Hurricanes have possession. Here's Zimmerman with the clock at 9. Haywood off the glass, but that won't fall. And Cadogan has the ball and he'll hold it. There is going to be a 9-second difference, between the game clock and the shot clock. As I mentioned, the Hurricanes have 2 fouls to give. Herring Jr. watched by Poole 17 seconds ago. Shot clock at 6. Herring Jr. just short. Ball's on the floor. Haywood trying to go. He's got the Jets and one there. You can see that Haywood saw the opportunity there with the big man Phillips and was just trying to outrun him. And Phillips did not get back in time. And you can see as he's trying to get the crowd amped up here. Watch this move as he's going down Main Street. Phillips a little bit of a touch, probably a touch foul. And he'll get a chance to complete the 3-point play. 85-74. As the public address announcer, Chris Lydon, tries to get the crowd to quiet down as Haywood completes the 3-point play. Shot clock shut off. Cadogan through the paint and the finger roll. Or the floater, pardon me, and Royce White loved it. And the teammates coming off the bench to slap the hands of Cadogan. 87-74, and a coach that's got no answers right now. We just saw a couple of seconds ago in Mike Leslie, 87-75, and we have a minute and 50 to go till the beginning of the fourth quarter on Scotiabank Center. So we'll take a look at some of the leading players. Of course, we mentioned that White has 17, so he is just doing a stellar job there tonight. And of course, he did a fantastic job, had a double-double against the Hurricanes on Monday afternoon in that win. 87-75, Hurricanes have some work to do now. That's the thing that's been difficult here for Halifax is that when you get, they're a team that they sort of like to get control and be in control of the game. And when you're down, all of a sudden you're, that may not be their game because there's not really, as you say, a lot in terms of weapons because this team shoots, is 8th in the NBL in shooting 3-point field goals at 31.9%. And you know, all of a sudden now you're relying on the 3. And it's really hard to get the 3 when you don't have the 3-point shooters to do it. So that's what the task is for the Hurricanes. But the thing is, they got to get some stops here early, and maybe you could make a run here for it at the end. So we'll just have to wait and see. But of course, all credit here to Kyle Julius and the London Lightning for this effort here. You come into town on the road with 9 players. You know, usually the Hurricanes usually feast on times when teams come shorthanded. They're missing 3 players in the lineup, and they have rotated all 9 players, and all 9 players have been pretty well giving them solid minutes. It has been a, you know, picture-perfect basketball game, and of course the Hurricanes didn't take advantage of Royce White being on the bench to try to get back into this game, and now they've got some work cut out to do, and White is back in. As we take a look at a very energetic crowd here at the Scotiabank Center. Right now, they find their team down by 12 and the fourth quarter underway. As we look at Doug Herring Jr., so the regular starter back out on the floor right now. White, oh, there's the first stop there as a block there by Dixon. And that's what his modus operandi is for the Hurricanes. Haywood starting to get those handles going, but he's short on that one, and Royce White will come up with the weak side board quickly up. And a circus shot put up by Julian Boyd that doesn't fall. 87-57. An intense 30 seconds so far here in the fourth. Nick Leslie got the big guns out there. Speaking of big guns, Poole, that bounces in and out. Crowd reacts. We take a look at Cadogan with the ball. 12-point game. And the defense chant rings loud here at the Scotiabank Center as we have a lot of youth in the crowd watching. Cadogan, oh, swatted away, but right into the hands of the London Lightning. Cadogan swatted. So a couple of big defensive stops there for the Hurricanes. That is what they need. And Poole, tic-tac-toe passing to Watson and in. And it was a 10-point game, but some nice fancy footwork as Clykescale's off the bench, trying to get the crowd going. Two big stops. Do they have another one here on this possession? 10:26 to go. Anderson, oh, he makes a nice little finger roll, gets the bucket. 89-77. Soon as the Hurricanes get momentum, London takes it away. Poole, open lane, goes down Main Street, lays it in. 89-79, coming up to 2 minutes gone here in the fourth quarter. Stops is what the Hurricanes need. London says we got to keep the pedal to the metal. Hurricanes can close pretty quickly. Here is White having a fantastic night. Guarded by Watson. And he uses his height there to his advantage over Watson. Watson 6'5", and White 6'8". Zimmerman, corner three, yes! (91-82), but you could trade shots with the London Lightning all day long. You need stops if you're the Hurricanes. Will they get a stop here? Yes. Dixon out there. Not really out there in an offensive role, just trying to get stops. Here's Poole now, entry pass, not really a great one there for Watson. Turnover, and quickly in transition. Cadogan, nice move, a couple of blow-bys and in. Hurricanes were coming back, but boy, oh boy, Cadogan is just quick. 93-82. Haywood gonna call the offense here. Be the floor general. He's got the ball with 8:48 to go. Here's Zimmer now, bounce pass. Haywood, yes, long distance too. But you see when he gets that stroke, that beautiful Joey Haywood stroke, most of the time it goes in. And Hurricanes slow to get back on D, and that was an easy bucket there once again by Royce White. Pretty well having his way. 8:24 to go. 95-84. Dixon and White will swing around. Zimmerman for three. No. Kyle Julius react. He wasn't too happy, but got away with that one. Zimmerman with the open look, but unable to get the finish. So coming up to 4 minutes gone here in the fourth quarter. Cadogan. Entry pass fouled there by Poole, as the pass was intended for Boyd, but he gets fouled there by Poole. And for Poole, that'll be his first, and it'll be the 4th team foul. And some of the Hurricanes fans still not too happy with that call. And been a well officiated game tonight, so all credit to Jason Steele, Paul Hansen, and Matt Boyle. Had a chance to talk to Matt Boyle, of course, before the game. And, he was a crew chief for a game that I called in the ACAA, and it was a difficult situation. There was a lot of testosterone, a lot of aggression in that game. A couple of teams not really liking each other, and sometimes there were fisticuffs at it, but he did a great job of controlling the game, and he's done a great job here tonight. Of course, the crew chief is Jason Steele, but a veteran officiating crew, and has been a well officiated game. Zimmerman, and he can't hit. And Phillips right there, and this is the thing, you have to hit those threes, and that's the only way you're going to get back into the game. But a team that does not do very well from beyond the arc may be asking a little bit too much. And speaking of hot shooting, there's Anderson from outside the arc, so all of a sudden this one's starting to get away. 98-84. The Central Division champion showing why we should be one of the faves to get close to the playoff run, as that outside three by Poole doesn't go. 98-84, 6:56 to go. Entry pass and the finish by White. And that was too easy, and I said off the top that the Hurricanes got to prevent that century mark. Well, guess who's hit it? The London Lightning, and we have 6:40 still to play. Billy White inside, looks for help, spins it out. Haywood, yes! He's kind of, as I mentioned last night in the broadcast, for those who didn't tune in, he's kind of having a little bit of difficulty with his shots, but starting to come around. He had a big offensive output against London on Monday. Looking pretty good here. Phillips, oh, he fakes Poole and puts it up. And the bench of the London Lightning like it. It's a long distance too, 102-87, but Poole fell for the deke, and Phillips with the open look, and he knocked it down. Here is White. Swings it over a little bit too high. Nice work by Zimmerman to keep it alive for the Hurricanes. Shot clock at 8. Haywood from outside, can't hit. And Hurricanes just try to get those outside jumpers and try to get points, but here's a steal and a 3-on-1 the other way. Haywood between the legs, tic-tac, up. Oh, can't get the finish. Fadeaway jumper by Poole, it doesn't go. 2 chances there by the Hurricanes, and they come up empty. 5.5 to go, there's a steal. And Phillips fouls White in transition. Good foul to take. 5:27 to go, 102-87. And it's the third team foul there, or third personal foul for Phillips. And it's the first team foul, so it's been pretty well a fourth quarter that the referees have let the players play. So now, of course, as we mentioned, that these Hurricanes do need stops, but boy, oh boy, this London Lightning team, like, we talk about like the balance, it's just fantastic, and they have just are on all cylinders here. 15-point game, and you know, the thing is, you would have figured that maybe the long road trip would be a little bit hard for the London Lightning, but they have just came in and they have just been clicking since pretty well the opening tip. And the thing is, they're not showing any fatigue whatsoever. They still look pretty good. The thing is, with the Moncton Miracles, who had 8 players last night, I know it's a player difference, they were starting to get a little bit fatigued towards the end, and the Hurricanes took advantage of it. And I think that maybe the Hurricanes' lack of three-point shooting. Now, last year, of course, they were really honored to have the sharp shooting of Justin Johnson as well as Shane Gibson. And, of course, they don't have that arsenal right now. And as I mentioned earlier, Taquan Zimmerman is like one of those hot cold for in the last 7 games. I mentioned that the last 4 of those 7, he has been unable to get into double figures in scoring, and then the previous 3 he did. So as I mentioned, pretty well an up and down season for Zimmerman, so that's the thing about the three-point shooting, but it has not cooled off. The three-point shooting here for the London Lightning in this game is 39% for them, and they're shooting 55% from the field, so, and when the numbers say that, it doesn't look good for if you're a Hurricane fan when you have a team shooting 55%. Usually teams shoot around about 40, so they are just a sharp shooting team. 5:11 to go, outside 3 by Zimmerman, that doesn't go. And it's starting to get a little bit quiet there, and some of the Hurricane faithful losing a little bit of hope here of a comeback. And with every second going off the clock, the reality of a loss becomes more of course, that's going to happen. And another foul there against Billy White, be his 5th.
Team foul number 2.
And things start to get a little bit quiet. And there is Anderson with the ball and gets it to White. White falls down. White said it didn't do anything, and there is, of course, a turnover there, and it's going to be Hurricanes basketball. But White has to be careful with 5. So all of a sudden, Royce White could blow by Billy White here because White's got 5, and one of the top shooters from the field this season is Billy White. Need his offense, so in terms of, I'm sure that probably people have heard me say this before, you could always get the points back, but not the fouls. In the meantime, another big defensive stop there by Royce White. 4 minutes and 17 seconds to go, 102-87. The London Lightning about 4 minutes away from going to 16-3. White with the tough bucket and foul, and that one's gone against Billy.
Halifax foul on Antoine Gibson.
Billy White coming over to talk to Jason Steele. He must have a guilty conscience because the foul was going against Mason. And once again, some of the hecklers here at the Scotiabank Center getting on the officials here. And as I mentioned earlier, it's been a great officiated game with Hanson, Steele, and Boyle. Royce White misses the first free throw. 102-87. And now a little bit of the crowd comes to react. That's actually going to be a bucket there. It's going to be off defensive goaltending there. So we'll count the basket, 103-87 with 4 to go here at the Scotiabank Center. Thursday night hopes. Hurricanes, of course, back-to-back games. Mason gets a little bit of room for Friesen and puts it up, and that goes out of bounds with 3:45 to go. And you can just see that this one almost is in the bag here for the London Lightning. 103-87 as we take a look at some of the crowd. Not really a lot in terms of smiles, not much really in terms of energy here tonight. But the thing is also too is that they're also coming up. Of course, there's a nice layup there. Beautiful move by Doug Herring Jr., 105-87, so you get a chance to finish my point, is that the roster freezes and everything will be coming in the middle of March, so if the Hurricanes are looking to try to make a move, and a nice move by Zimmerman, he'll get the bucket, 105-89. Now's a chance to see what you need to go down that stretch, so you can't really lose the championship here at the halfway point of the season, but you could actually put yourself in a situation where you can win it later on, so. Doug Herring Jr. can't hit. Watson with the board. And we're under 3 to go, 105-89. Billy White showing a lot of frustration here tonight. A foul against the London Lightning.
His fourth. Team foul number 2.
Take a look at the. Let's get that foul on the board in right here. 105-89, 2:45 to go. There's a shot from outside. It's a long distance too. Billy White. Well, my apologies on that. I believe it's a fourth personal, but as we take a look at the White shot once again over Royce White. So White on White. Now it's an offensive foul going the other way.
Offensive foul on Joel Friesen.
And it's going against Joel Friesen, his third. Matt Boyle and Kyle Julius having a little bit of discussion right in front of our broadcast location. So it's his third team foul. So as I mentioned, the referees have put their whistle in their pockets here in this fourth quarter. 2:23 to go, but a big hill to climb, but the Hurricanes have to start hitting some outside threes. That's plain and simple. Haywood for 3. Yes. What the doctor ordered, 105-94, 2 to go. And this is a time that they need stops. And all of a sudden, the Scotiabank Center waking up here on a Thursday night. Royce White drives the shoulder right into Billy White. Billy White hitting the floor and wondering, where's the foul, boys? Where's the offensive foul? He's having a frustrating night, as Billy is. We are coming up to 100 seconds left. 107-94. Hurricanes are not going down without a fight as Haywood hits the long distance two. 107-96, but you have to be happy that Joey Haywood's starting to find his game, and he can pretty well, you know, turn things around. 107-96. 1:20 to go. There's the steal. Mason, can he win the? No, he can't. It's fouled there by Friesen, and that would be his fourth. And all of a sudden, some of the crowd who were happy with Joel Friesen at the start of the night start give him the Bronx cheer as you take a look as he tackles Mason down at the 35-yard line, so it'll be second down. A little bit of a joke there, but 1:19 to go. And once again, some are saying get him out of here, so it's his fourth. The Friesen now. Zimmerman, oh, can't hit. And Phillips on the other side, quickly up, Jam City! Royce White! But they're going to wave it off as he took too many steps. That's the biggest ovation that's come out of the Scotiabank Center tonight. White in behind the D, and with the finger roll puts it in, 107-98. 1:07 to go, and the trap on its way. As you see a little bit of college basketball. Broken easily there by the London Lightning. 1 minute to go, 16 to shoot. Anderson will bring it out there. The clock is on their side. Hurricanes have 3 fouls to give. Doug Herring Jr. against Haywood. Watson coming over. Timeout call as it's swatted away with 46.7 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. So barring a miracle comeback here, the Hurricanes will lose on home floor. It's something that they have not done a lot since the organization came about last year. They were pretty dangerous here at home, and they'll come away with a rare loss here tonight. But the thing is, it's not a matter of the Hurricanes not able to play bad. It's just the London Lightning have just been on top. There has not been really much in terms of errors or misses or anything. They have just been spectacular here. We take a look at some of the leading scorers. Royce White, a fantastic night. And a consistent night. He had 26 points on Monday. He's got 26 points now. So that's the thing, is that I was also talking to some of the fans just before the game, and they were saying that, you know, maybe they need to get like a bigger forward so they can actually stop players like Royce White. And, you know, they're really knowledgeable fans here in Halifax, know their basketball, and of course, on Sunday afternoon will be the last home game for, of course, the month of February, and then they're going to go on a prolonged road trip and be back by March break, the middle of March, as the U Sport Final 8 and the AUS Final 6. The Final 6 for the AUS is next weekend. Shot clock going down and unable to hit it. There was the London Lightning. White now with 37 seconds to go. It goes out of bounds. It will stay with the Hurricanes. 17 to shoot. And you can see the compete level still here with the Lightning. And this is the thing, you get into like situations where you have the game in hand and you're up comfortably. All of a sudden, you may start to get a little bit cool with your defense and start making mistakes. And sometimes you may not be able to get out of those mistakes. In the meantime, a big three there by Zimmerman, and now it's a 2-possession game. Quick inbound, Haywood to Zimmerman. 30 seconds to go, but they need stops and they need steals. There is a foul there. Mason not happy as he shows his frustration as he walks towards the bench. And once again, you see him slap it. And Joel Friesen having pretty well the night that he would like to have coming back here to the Scotiabank Center. Mason, on the other hand, a little bit frustrated as he fouled. But of course, they're all right in terms of fouls. They still have 2 to give. And now they're fouling right away, so as I said, they're going to pretty well put them to the line. It's the only way you can really get the ball back. 24 seconds to go. White called for the foul, so it'll be his second there against Mason. They had the wrong number. It would have been White with his sixth if they didn't change it, but it was an error made there by Jason Steele. He fixed it up. Mason will now just look around instead of trying to guard the inbound here. Right along the corner, that's a danger zone there, and White will now foul, and now he'll calmly walk towards the bench, and that will be his sixth foul, so the night for White is over, but he did give it a good, solid effort. And the appreciative crowd here at the Scotiabank Center show love there for Billy White. Came in and had a bigger role to play with this team, and as I mentioned, he'll go to the bench here, and the Hurricanes still have to pretty well foul, so they have to get the inbound quickly, but Phillips can't find anybody, but Dugan in trouble. Did he go out of bounds? And all of a sudden there's Mike Leslie, Joey Haywood, Mason, and Dixon smothering Steele right here. He's got nowhere to go and trapping. And Matt Boyle comes in, so the 4-on-2, and you can hear what the crowd think of that one as it goes out of bounds, and Mike Leslie is still in the ear of Steele. Mike Leslie, one of the nicest gentlemen, but boy, he's not happy with that call too much as you take a look. And a back over half violation, so hold the phone, we may not be done yet. Hurricanes will get the ball, 13.8 seconds to go, but boy, if you've got a play up your sleeve, now's the time to come up with it here for the Hurricanes as Kyle Julius and the crew chief here tonight, Jason Steele, have a quick conversation. In the meantime, Matt Boyle comes over. Matt Boyle, of course, is a veteran here, so sometimes he will come over and help, of course, and that's what you kind of like in the sport, is that sometimes referees make the call and they cannot be overruled, and you get in those situations, you like to have the second set of eyes, because there may be some times that you miss it. So I've always been a big fan of some of the officials getting together and talk things over. As you see things start to get a little bit dark, and the Jumbotron people trying to get the crowd going, because they're going to have a chance here, but I think they may be running out of time. 6-point game, and 107 to 101. You imagine you're going to probably see Zimmerman and Haywood out here. They need threes, and they need them quickly. Pretty well, the only thing that you can pretty well do is get that three, or even the thing is, you can get a quick two, but you got to get it quick. 13.8 seconds ago, score quickly, and then foul, get another shot. So, and of course, one of the weaker free throw shooters for the London Lightning, of course, has been Royce White. 57%, not out on the floor. So Julius making sure that if you're going to foul, you're going to foul pretty well our top free throw shooters, which is of course Herring Jr. as well as Friesen here. And there's Herring Jr. They have fouls to give too, so they're going to take advantage of it as well. That'll be the 5th foul. This one on Doug Herring Jr. It'll be his 2nd. So once again, they'll have another one to give. 10.6 ticks left here in the 4th. Hurricanes trying to pull out the Hail Mary here as that inbound is deflected off of Phillips and goes into the second row of the stands here on the floor of the Scotiabank Center. Only took about 0.5 seconds off the clock, so 10.1 seconds to go as we take a look at Watson to inbound. Spinning and shooting is Mason, and he hits it! Kyle Julius wants a timeout, and he was signaling timeout, and of course the scorers were looking at the other end, and all of a sudden, business is starting to pick up. 107 to 104. And the crowd waking up too. thing is, they're going to have to quickly foul, and they'll have to hope that maybe London miss it from the free throw line. London from the free throw line coming into tonight. They're the 5th ranked team, shooting 72%. But of course, Royce White, who struggles, not on the floor right now, so that's not much of an option that they can use to foul. As the crowd once again, as you see, making some noise on a Thursday night. So now, of course, the crowd has to be that 6th person and try to make things a little bit difficult for London to really execute anything in terms of an inbound. So pretty well make sure that you have to do that 5-second violation, or you have to quickly foul. Those pretty well the only 2 things that really the Hurricanes can do. And what a run they've been on, thanks to our stat man Alan April for this one. 17-2 run in the last 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Quickly fouling there, of course, with Mason and Dixon. We'll see which one gets it. It's going to be Dixon, so Anderson will have a chance to knock down some free throws here.
Team foul number 7.
And pardon me, it is Boyd. Boyd 79.5%, and you can hear them. I'm sure that he's faced this in a matter of probably college ball, so it's probably not going to faze the big man. And it doesn't as he drains out one, so that, of course, makes things a little bit probably difficult for the Hurricanes. 6.8 seconds ago, so that could pretty well cinch it here. And once again, they'll give him the horns and give him the business. Boyd can't hit the second one. No, you can't call timeout, Mason. He signals, and he's fouled there by Herring Jr. But you can see sometimes these players get used to trying to do like the college basketball, and Mason trying to get the timeout, but that's just pure instinct. You go from, playing like ball in the States, of course, ball in other places, to do that. That's just you're used to doing that automatically, and that's the first thing that comes out of your mind to do. So, of course, there was a couple of years ago that a player, Chris Weber, actually tried to do that and actually got a technical because you can't do it. So, of course, that's not a rule in this league. But boy, Hurricanes have the timeout, and now they have to construct something. But this looked like it was going to be over and over early, but they have started to gnaw back. And as I mentioned just a couple seconds ago, Hurricanes have poured on the points, but they're running out of time. And crowd that was mostly quiet throughout the night. They haven't had really lots to cheer for, starting to wake up, but as I said, with time winding down, this could be a little bit tough task to try to come from behind here. Very well, small chances, but White back out on the floor here for the London Lightning. It'll give him some size. Haywood looking up at the clock, assessing the situation with Mason. As you see him talking right now to his teammates. 2.9 to go, and Mason will move the bounty print sign back here to have a little bit of room inbound. Of course, the big man is just going to be there trying to block everything, trying to make sure it's hard to inbound. Haywood will have to put it up. Oh, he can't get the three to go. It would have made it tight, but the London Lightning will come out of Halifax with a 108 to 104 win. And full credit to them with a bench of 9. They will come away with the win, and they will improve their record to 16-3. The Halifax Hurricanes will fall to 17-5. So, an entertaining basketball game towards the end, and the Hurricanes were with them, but it sort of got away from them for a bit, and the London Lightning with too much firepower there for the Hurricanes here on this Thursday night. So once again, the final score, the London Lightning 108, the Halifax Hurricanes 104, and the Lightning will continue to be the best team in the NBL after tonight. So we want to thank our Silver Vision crew for the technical work. And of course, we want to thank you, our loyal NBL Canada fans, for watching here on YouTube. My name is Dan Hobson. Thank you for watching. So long from the Scotiabank Centre in Halifax, Nova Scotia.